Hey everyone, this is Modest Millions. Today we're going to be covering how you can make consistent gold during the downtime before a new expansion or, like right now, before patch 9.1. If you follow these tips, you will make tons of gold no matter what you're doing on WoW. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe down below so you don't miss out on any upcoming WoW guides, and let's go. Now, first things first, I'm going to reference a couple things from my Building Your Gold Empire series, so if you're new to the channel, go check those out, and I'll leave the links in the description down below. So you're sitting here in the content drought before a new patch or expansion, and you're kind of frustrated that you've been seeing a huge dip in your daily sales and profits that you've been seeing over the past couple months. You've spent your time perfecting your routine, and now it's not working the way that you want, so what do you do about this? Well, first off, we need to lay out a game plan. So here are the points below. You need to be able to watch and realize when your market is in a downtime and recognize this early. You need to be able to establish where you are in your gold making journey, make a downtime gold making plan, and finally you just need to be patient. So let's start off at the top with noticing your downtime in your market. This is huge and can save you a lot of gold and frustration with struggling sales and profits. And you want to be able to notice early that you're in your downtime on your server. And here are some of the things that you're going to notice. So you're going to see equalizing mat and crafted item cost. Essentially during this time, you're going to see profit margins shift, and a majority of crafted items will either have very tight profit margins or none at all. And this leads us into the next point, which is loss of demand. With most people that have wanted to complete certain content having successfully done this at this point of the expansion, product demand on the market has died off. And now, with less demand and less gold being made, more goblins are branching out into different markets trying to find a solid gig. This only increases the supply, drops the prices, and makes it harder and harder for you to find good items to focus on. But there is an exception to this, and that brings us to the final part of noticing your downtime, and that is new profitable markets emerging. So normally you're going to find these new markets. They're normally extremely competitive markets that people have burned out of and just given up, which results in less competition and higher profits. And a perfect example on my server is alchemy with the healing potions. 4 to 5 months ago, I could easily make 5 to 10 gold profit per healing potion. And in the past 2 to 3 months, you'd be lucky if you broke even. But after this week with TBC, I checked the markets and started selling them again because they stabilized around 8 gold profit per. So keep your eye out for these market changes and just go with the flow. So now that you know what you need to look for so that you can pinpoint when downtimes are on your server with gold making, now you need to make sure that you know where you are in your gold making empire journey. I'll have the links down below so that you can see step-by-step layout of what group you're in. And this is super important because the biggest mistake I see newer and even older goblins doing is getting lost in the weeds. So if you're sitting here at downtime and you have 6 maxed alts with all maxed rep, and you're min-maxing your efficiency with restocking your crafted items and farmed items, then you should take the direction of branching out into older expansions, worrying about old rep grinds for big hitter BOE crafted item patterns and things like that. But if you're sitting here with 1 level 60 and no reps maxed with no efficient posting schedule, you should obviously have Shadowlands to focus on, and my Gold Empire guide goes through this perfectly and allows you to plan your path and make sure that you're not doing something which is not the most beneficial use of your time. And that brings us to the third point, which is using all that info to make yourself a downtime gold making plan. I normally have a Word document myself that I just keep character names on with professions and what they need and what I want to work toward the next time I have some downtime. And this helps because if I just simply choose to switch over to this, or it is actually downtime in gold making, I have a cut and dry plan for what I need and what I want to work toward. Because World of Warcraft has so much content and it's designed to keep you hooked. For example, you set out for a rep grind for a pattern killing furblogs in Winter Spring, and the next thing that you know, you're doing a force spawn in Winter Spring because you had an Azure Whelpling drop and saw that it sells for a bunch, and you spend the next 3 hours farming. Now you're 5 hours into playing and no pattern. And for new and old goblins, this doesn't have to be some super detailed 20-page plan. It can be as simple as, when I have downtime, I want to work on 3 to 4 of the classic rep patterns that I need for my blacksmith, all the way to being as detailed as exactly what pattern you need from each of your alts, what mats you want to farm for restocking your high-end crafted mog, and a lot more. And another part of this too should be to spend your gold wisely during this time. Don't invest all your gold down to the last silver unless you know that it is a for sure flip or craft. Because it really sucks thinking that you're going to make some extra gold and then the flip is a bust and you go into the new patch or expansion without gold. You'll simply just spend the first week of the new patch playing catch up, and you don't want that. And finally, which is a huge part, is to just be patient. Don't try and force anything on the auction house because it will only hurt you in the long run. If you have a lot invested into a market and they only sell well for a decent price on Tuesdays, then bank them. Make a dedicated bank alt or only repost and restock the items on Tuesdays. Make sure your plan is balanced. Don't try to pull yourself in too many directions at once, because someone that's new to gold making isn't going to build an empire overnight. Tackle one tune or market at a time and gradually branch out. Stretching yourself too thin on any server will eventually lead to failure. So be patient, don't get discouraged if you're in a new market test and it doesn't work out as you planned. And when something flops, don't stress out. Pull out of that market and move on to the next. And if you do all of these things, you'll have an extremely successful downtime gold making plan, and you'll have plenty of ways that you can rake in piles of gold at any time during the year. Make sure, if you haven't already, that you join the Discord, and if you're looking for more exclusive content and TSM profiles, then come support me on Patreon. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please comment, like, and subscribe down below, and I will see you all in the next video.